Right, so we're actually going to revisit something we have covered on this channel quite a while ago, in the form of the ISIS bride Shamima Begum. She, as many of you who have been here long enough will undoubtedly know, she and two of her fellow schoolmates ran off to go and live in the utopian caliphate dream in Raqqa that now loosely resembles a car park to a Walmart on Black Friday. During her time, she got married and she had children. Now her husband is currently in prison and he wants to go home to the Netherlands. Best of luck to you, sir. Best of luck. Shamima would either like to go with him because of their healthcare system. For her children, oh wait, no children. All of them died due to malnourishment and diseases that couldn't be treated because of what you were trying to live within and what the purpose of what you were trying to live within was trying to achieve. And we should certainly cover that, because some of the things you said, Shamima, included justification for the Manchester bombing by saying, well, we got airstruck in Raqqa, so it was justified. And let's not forget here, you were a part of the jihadi morality police, stitching suicide bomber vests and trying to recruit other women to join your group before your caliphate collapsed. Now initially, when you were found in the jihadi wives camp, a glamorous spot where you got to do nothing because you were the prisoners within this detention camp, because you were bad people and you deserved to be there. There was an issue I took because of your age at the time when you left, being 15. That was an issue. The fact you stole passports. The fact you gave those passports up upon entering when you got to Syria, which means somebody else could have cloned and duplicated and manipulated them to bring people into the United Kingdom. It got a tad murky. However, years have passed and you have done things that, quite frankly, should be punished. And you were punished, because after being interviewed by Sky, ITV and other places that came to see you in the jihadi camp, a number of things happened to you. Firstly, the other wives didn't like you showing your face because that was too much skin. They didn't like you talking to people. Now at the time you were, because you'd just given birth, in a pretty bad condition, as was your son Gerard. And I feel sorry for Gerard, I really do, because you are the problem here. Your son should never have suffered. He should have been allowed safe passage back to the United Kingdom, to family that would have cared and loved him, in a way I doubt you could have, because of the kind of things you were okay with at the time. Not just the wives not liking you though, you were also facing charges, not least from the Home Office in the United Kingdom that wasn't overly keen on having you come back after you begged to come back while showing a literal dick for remorse, in the sense that you just didn't feel it and felt the need to justify everything your little caliphate was doing in the name of your God because of your perverted idea of how one should live their life, by bullying people into submission, by making them surrender to you. It is absolutely sickening. Now you held dual nationality. The dual nationality is with not just the United Kingdom but also Bangladesh. The problem you have is you had your UK citizenship revoked. The additional problem for you, though, is that Bangladesh has also barred you from being entered into their country. Now, you're currently in Syria anyway, and I don't think you're going to be leaving anytime soon. Over a few months, which was several months ago, we went through a number of articles concerning Shamima, her actions, her beliefs, her husband, her family, how they all interacted, how they all behaved. I would have mentioned the other two schoolgirls, but we've heard very little of one of them, whose father is a terrorist sympathiser, and the other one is dead. So after all the begging, the pleading, and slowly but surely finally getting the point that you had screwed up because you had everything taken away from you, everything went silent. For a few months, in fact. Until now, where Shamima Begum has finally come out and said that her mental health is not the best and she needs therapy after all her children died. Now I agree she requires therapy to help her deal with the grief. I agree, but I don't think you should be allowed to come back into the United Kingdom for that. I'm afraid you're going to have to find a mental health counsellor within the lovely camp you now live within in Syria, which for those of you that don't know, the camp she now resides in Syria can be loosely translated to Camp Sunshine. Shamima currently shares a tent with a woman that is 30 years older than her, and they have a television where they can watch news and movies. Shamima believes the TV is her only escape. Besides that and listening to pop music, she no longer wears a veil and even has a nose stud. Now, we can't get any pictures of her now because she's refusing to be photographed. I assume because she doesn't want the inevitable backlash for showing her ankles. And in truth, I do feel a slight amount of sympathy for her, because she was manipulated and groomed into doing all of this. However, that doesn't mean you're exempt from it, because you are still involved in it. And if proven, of course, you will be charged under Syrian law. I'm not too familiar with the consequences, but I'm pretty sure they're not great. As you are what you believe to be stateless, you're in a bit of a limbo. The family still want you to come home, and one can understand why they do, but at this time, you are a criminal in Syria. During an interview with the Daily Mail, Shamima indicated that she now hates ISIS or the Dolat, and that no one in the UK has spoken to her for 6 months, because she lost all the friends that came with her, and now she doesn't have anyone, with her being quoted as saying, "My mental health situation is not the best. My physical health is okay, I am still young and do not get sick. That is not my problem. Mentally though, I am in a really bad way. I need therapy to deal with my grief. It is so hard. I have lost all my children. None of the people I am living with in here know what I have experienced. They are not like my school friends, who I could always talk to. They do not understand what I've been through. As earlier stated, I do think you need therapy, but you're not going to get it from the United Kingdom, so begging to come back is redundant. The then Home Secretary Sajid Javid didn't want you back here, and he, like you, is Muslim. Does that make him like the Uncle Tom of Muslims at that point? No, people just call him a coconut when they don't agree with anything he says or if they believe he is a sympathiser to the dreaded white race. The point is, moaning to the tabloids and to any news outlet that will hear your voice is utterly redundant, because you ruined the good graces that had been blessed upon you with the very privileged life you were allowed to have courtesy of your UK citizenship, once you made the conscientious decision to forfeit it, and then continued to enable terrorism, not just enable terrorism, but to justify it. No matter how guilty you feel, you do not deserve to be here. People in your local community of Bethnal Green, the majority didn't want you back. They wouldn't want you back, but you believe you're entitled to come back and be given everything. You are right, you lost everything, and that is truly sad. And I am very sorry you lost your 3 children. But I think you were put in a position where you had to choose, and you chose the caliphate over the safety of your children. And that might be an unpopular opinion, but as you have been proven to have been involved in the manufacture of suicide vests, involved in the jihadi morality police, the bullying, the torture, and the harm of Syrians, I don't think you deserve to come back here. I don't think anyone would want you back here. Begum's father, as many of you might remember, said that his daughter should face justice in Britain, despite having her citizenship removed. I would assume this is because it's less likely she'll be executed. Now, rather interestingly, sources had to refute, sources to the government no less, that Begum had been secretly flown back to the UK after a considerable amount of pressure had been applied to the UK officials by European counterparts. To the European counterparts, if any of you did in fact suggest that or lean on our officials, find a middle finger and stare at it. Please write on it though. Get good, scrub. Rule Britannia. And before you say that we are making her stateless and not taking responsibility for our citizens, she has dual nationality. She's Bangladesh's problem now. And I'd like to wish you the best of luck leaning on them, because they don't want her either. She will face justice in the country where she committed the crime, as should be the case for any and all people who commit a crime in another country. No exceptions to that. You must respect the law of the land, and not the laws you make up under your utterly perverted bollocks belief system. Did I say perverted? Yeah, distorted, perverted view, interpretation of your faith. How about that? To Shamima Begum, enjoy Camp Sunshine. You've got television, you can watch movies. I hope you can watch YouTube, that'd be kind of cool. watch my videos on you. The comment sections are the best. And I'm, as always, very interested to know what everyone thinks about this. So please let me know down below. Also, before we finish, new video on Moisky Live, Boris Johnson absolutely going nuts in Parliament last night. And I will be streaming it on the Omegon Plays channel at 9 PM. Also, final thing, I've been a bit absent or AFK or quiet on the Moisky Reads channel. Now that's because the final 3 tales are quite long. Last 2 weeks, I had issues to deal with, personal issues related to, well, my mother. But I've recorded 7 out of 10 parts of it. It should be done tomorrow. Please keep an eye out on that. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. I hope you all have a lovely Thursday, and thank you all for listening.